Oh, you better believe it. Hockey Talk Show with you here on a Tuesday. Okay. Tuesday, it's your old pal Ann along for the ride. Nice to be here with you, trying out a beige hat tonight. I don't know. Thumbs up or down on the beige hat. Could lose the hat altogether, but I feel like what's underneath is scarier than everything. So, beige hat it is for the evening. Nice to be here with you to talk some hockey. And boy, do we have a hell of a lot of hockey to talk about tonight. Charlie McAvoy had heart surgery. Young kid from Boston. Was in conversations for Rookie of the Year. Has fallen off of that now, but still, nonetheless, tremendous rising talent in the National Hockey League. And had an emergency heart surgery situation. We'll get into it. The Sedin twins. Would you want them on your team? That's what I want to know. They're free agents. They are going to decide on their future. The possibility of they may continue to play, but just not for the Vancouver Canucks. Canucks fans, how do you feel? Would you want them on your franchise? The NHL All-Star Game is changing as far as the skills competition goes, and there's some money up for grabs in a little bit of a different way. So we'll talk about that coming up on the Hockey Talk Show tonight. Plus, the New York Islanders are close to moving back to the Coliseum, at least for the time being. And as you can tell from the title of the show, the Mighty Ducks are returning in a TV series format. We don't have a lot of details, but we have all the details that are available to us right now. We will talk about all that and whatever you'd like to discuss on this episode of the Hockey Talk Show. Numbers open at 631-438-1768. That's 631-438-1768. Even more important than the old school phone number. I know, because dialing a phone right now is like dialing a rotary phone 5 years ago. You can just comment below on Facebook and YouTube. Please do that right now. Let me know that you're in the room and what you want to talk about. Anything and everything goes. Caps, Rangers, Leafs, Flames, Tampa Bay themselves, where the All-Star Game is going to be. A lot of teams doing a lot of things right now. Boston, we'll talk about McAvoy, but they've been super hot as of late. Philadelphia Flyers, 8-2 in their last 10. Don't even get me started on last night. The Islanders lost to the Arizona Coyotes. I don't know how this team, and we saw this a little bit with the Rangers over the weekend, and the Penguins can't seem to dig themselves out of a hole, and forget about the Blackhawks. I feel eternally bad for Blackhawks fans because they've been riding so high for so long, and now just nothingness. They can't seem to grab a win. They got shut out by Tampa last night. They didn't even look all that great. They really did not look good. Ottawa looked like they're not even trying. The Devils got shut out by Detroit. It was really a night of kind of opposites. I mean, Minnesota was going to beat Ottawa. We knew that. But Detroit to put up 3 and the Devils nothing, that was a little weird to see. Buffalo beat Calgary. I mean, we had a little bit of a thing last night. Outside of the Minnesota win and the Tampa Bay win, we had a couple of surprises. We had the underdogs winning games last night in the National Hockey League. I mean, Tampa's amazing, so I don't expect Chicago to win, but man, what is it about Chicago? They just can't seem to get it right. They just can't seem to get it in line and get it in order. I mean, they took a beating by the hands of the Islanders, and then the Islanders go off and lose to the Arizona Coyotes 3-2. I mean, I don't know what the hell is going on with this team. I really don't. They just don't seem to have their act together whatsoever. And it's driving me nuts as a hockey fan. As a Hockey Talk Show host, it's great because it's great fodder to talk about. All the Islander fans get upset. Sandra, you going to mention the Islanders losing to the Coyotes? I wasn't planning on it, but my fandom got the best of me off the start of the show here. It's just upsetting. You have to, if you want to be a competing team, you have to beat the teams that you're supposed to beat. It's an easy 2 points in the desert last night. It's not going to be an easy 2 points when you go to the other part of the desert where gambling is legal. And, points are at a premium right now. The standings are super tight. We've talked about that ad nauseum. Let's talk about Charlie McAvoy up at the start, and then we'll get into the Mighty Ducks and everything else that we're going to be talking about tonight that I'm really, really just super excited to discuss with you guys and get your opinions on. But this is kind of sad. I mean, it's great that, McAvoy is going to come out of this and it looks like the kid's going to be all right. But, anytime you hear about a young kid going in for a heart procedure, that's a little terrifying. That's a little scary. Out of the hospital today, resting comfortably after a procedure Monday to treat an abnormal heart rhythm. Coach Bruce Cassidy said, everything went well. My concern and our concern as an organization is obviously his health going forward. Whatever time he needs to recover, his health is our number one priority, more so than the health of Zdeno Chara. After Roy McAvoy is our future. I added the last part. Don't ignore that. His health is number one priority. He's doing terrific, and we'll see how he recovers from there. Cassidy said McAvoy would be out through the All-Star break this weekend and would be evaluated next week, although the anticipated recovery time is 2 weeks. Isn't that kind of amazing? You look at some of the injuries in the National Hockey League. Some guys, get a little bit of a broken finger. Some guy, you get a broken nail or something sometimes like that. You get a broken jaw. All these things, 3 weeks, 3 to 6 weeks. You're out 2 months. Heart surgery, and you're back in 2 weeks. It feels a little crazy to say that. It feels a little nuts to be like, I got heart surgery. I'll see you guys in a couple weeks. I'll be back in 2. Yeah. Keep my stall warm for me. I'll be back in 2 weeks. Just going to have them work on the old ticker here. And then I'll be back in action. No worries. It seems kind of crazy to think that 2 weeks. But hey, good for him. Good for him. The organization put out this whole huge statement. I'm not going to read it to you, but essentially, he wasn't feeling all that great in the game, I think, Saturday. And I think they evaluated him and decided that there was a little something wrong, but he still went back and played that game on Saturday. And then it was up to him on whether or not he wanted to have the surgery. He would have been fine if he didn't. He didn't have to, but he could have gotten sick again. I guess it just kind of messes you up when your heart's skipping beats or in weird rhythms. I don't know. But he could have had the surgery, and he elected to have it, and he did, and now he's out for a couple of weeks here. Amazing to me that it moves through so quickly, but good for him. Good for him. Let's talk about the Sedins. What do you say? Sedins haven't decided yet if they want to return next season or not. Henrik Sedin today informed management that he will inform them on what they are going to do very soon. He said they have not decided if they're going to return yet, but will inform management as soon as they do. The 37-year-old Twins are in the final year of identical 4-year contracts signed on November 1st, 2013. They can become unrestricted free agents on July 1st. Henrik said on Tuesday, quote, "There's an ongoing discussion. It's not about if you're going to come back. It's more how we feel and all those things that go into it. And then we'll come into a conclusion on what we need to do." Points-wise, not the greatest year for them. But as third-line players on a team, not all that bad. If they can be affordable signs, might not be a bad thing to go through. You can never have too much experience. And Henrik and Daniel, they've been through a lot. They've seen the league change a great amount since they were drafted. 2 work stoppages? They've just done really, really well. And I don't know. I just, I think the idea of having 22 and 33 on another team is intriguing. The other part to think about with all this is, A, does Vancouver want them back? I mean, I understand that they're royalty, but at some time they got to move on and get their young guys going, especially if the team's not making the playoffs this season, which it doesn't look like. And B, Do they want to go back to Vancouver? Do they want to spend the last year of their National Hockey League careers going to a team where maybe they can help out a little bit and get a deep playoff run and perhaps compete for the cup? Maybe that's the move. It sounds weird to say, but I think the Rangers could use these guys. I really do. Their structure to their game, they're offensive, not defensive liabilities, super smart. I could see the Rangers moving in on these guys and then actually having a third line as opposed to what they have right now, which is three. Are they 1, 2, or third or three line? Like, you don't even know what the Rangers have right now because everybody's so mixed up. I sure think that Mika Zibanejad would appreciate the help. That's for damn sure. I think Mika would love having the Twins alongside him. Let's get to some of these comments that are rolling in. These are good ones here. Vander wants to talk Caps again. Vander, I love your conviction for the Caps. You're a diehard fan. I like that. Would you take, that's the question though. Would you take the Sedin twins? You couldn't fit them on the island. Rangers are intriguing. Toronto doesn't need them. You know what? Speaking of the Caps, I can see that working. They got a lot of those guys on 1-year deals, on the last year of their deals. We talked about the Caps needing an overhaul in general. That would be something. Have the Sedins on the Caps. You'd need to, they'd have to sign for, it has to be an affordable amount. Not like they need the money, really. Not like it's about the money. Stats-wise, not great for them this year. Daniels at 11 goals, 19 assists for 30 points. And Henrik, I think, only has 2 goals, right? 2 goals, 30 assists for 32 points. So they're 30 points, 47 games into the season. They're offensive. Forget third line. Maybe they are still a good second line. Go Caps. 3-loss streak, though. I've seen chatter about looking for a vet forward and a D-man, seeing others say trade Holtby. Here's what you need to do, Evander. You need to distance yourself from people saying trade Holtby. I don't know if I've heard a dumber commentary. Why would you trade Braden Holtby? There's no reason for that. Burakovsky, Stevenson, Rana are inconsistent. Bowie and Jules need to break. Essentially, Bowie. I wonder if they make any moves or if the chill from Shattenkirk is still around. That Shattenkirk move was interesting, though, wasn't it? They got him knowing full well he wanted to be a Ranger. Like, full well that he wanted to be a Ranger. Do the Sedin twins have to go as a pair, or can they separate themselves to different teams? I don't see themselves separating. When you think about the miracle that Brian Burke had to pull off just to draft them 1 and 2 or 2 and 3, whatever they went, I don't see them breaking up now in the last year. Maybe they do, but I don't know. I think they enjoy playing together. I think that I accidentally stumbled upon something here. I would think about that. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't it be intriguing, Evander? I want to know what you think as a diehard Caps fan. Wouldn't it be intriguing to have the Sedins on the Caps? Wouldn't that be something to look at? You know, you put out a laundry list of people here who are underachieving for the Caps. It's a similar situation with the Rangers, where do you slot some of these guys? Outside of Ovi and 19 and, all your guys here, where do you slot some of these guys that are not pulling their weight? I never really liked 77. Although I think he's doing okay now, right? And he might have slowed down a little bit. I haven't looked at his numbers in a while. Right? Kuznetsov, Ovi, and Wilson's on your first. And again, the superstar treatment sometimes. Crosby, poor Crosby. Could you imagine the career Sidney Crosby would have had if they had put him with a damn player? Guy's been saddled with garbage all his life. Chris Kunitz is the most talent that Crosby's ever had to play with. Why Tom Wilson is on Alex Ovechkin's line is beyond me. I just don't get it. I get it. Clearing space and moving. Yeah, but I don't know. Imagine if he had a scorer with him. Yeah, Stevenson, Eller, Beagle, Vrana, Smith, Pelly, Brett Connolly. A lot of mediocrity in there, isn't there? Imagine wiping some of those guys out and bringing in the Sedin twins. That'd be a lethal combination. Salary cap wise, I don't know if they can really do that salary cap wise this season. Have to really, really take a look at that. But that's really intriguing to me. I think I'd like to see the Sedins move on to the Caps. Jason, who would be a good fit for the Ducks? Probably not a big name, but maybe a winger or a D-man. I'll tell you who I'd like to see the Ducks acquire. I'd like to see them get back Aberman. Would be good. Charlie Conway might be a help. Banks would be a solid addition. I think it's time for the Ducks to go over and see if the border lines between them and the Kings are drawn up properly, because maybe they can get Adam Banks. That would be awesome. That would be amazing if they could do that. I think it would really turn their season around. Especially since the San Jose Sharks had to cancel their season because of the flu. Stupid. Just stupid. Sandra, Tom Wilson is the worst. I think his mom feels that way too. That would be some nice vet players, not at like $7 million a piece. I have to be serious pay cut. Oh, she is slowed. Should be top 6, and they put him on the third line for a few games. A lot of teams are doing that. Let's see. Since we're doing this all on the fly, and this is the good part about a live show here. Let's see where the Canuckies are at and the Cappy Appies are at. Caps have 0 space. They have about 300,000 in space, and the Canucks have less. The Sedins are making $7 million, so you're not getting them at the deadline, so that's not happening. Off season though, maybe. Maybe. And let's be honest, can the Caps really beat the Tampa Bay Lightning? I mean, who can at this point out of the East? Who's going to seriously challenge them? Right now, if the season ended right now, it would be pretty tough. It would be pretty disgusting that we're going to sit here and talk about the Philadelphia Flyers would have the best chance of beating the Tampa Bay Lightning, because I still think their chance of beating the Tampa Bay Lightning is somewhere in between my pointer and thumb finger right now. They're the hottest team. Boston, I guess you can make an argument. Boston's playing really well. Boston would have a good chance. Columbus has fallen off. They've really flattened out. The Caps are flat, but they're 6-2-2 in their last 10. It's not the end of the world for the Caps. Caps would give them a run. I honestly feel like the Caps would give them a legit run, because I do believe in Holtby. I like Holtby better than Tuukka Rask. Is that just me? Am I the only one that would pick Holtby over Tuukka Rask? I would. I like Holtby's game. Holtby gets up for the playoffs too, doesn't he? He gets all scrappy and angry. I like Holtby in the playoffs. Just thinking about trading him. Evander Kane to the Ducks. Everybody's kicking the tires on Evander Kane. To answer your question sincerely, Jason, who would be a good fit for the Ducks? Evander Kane would be. I think I would, if I were the Ducks, I'd go after Mike Hoffman. If I were the Ducks, that's just where I would go. I like his game a lot. To me, it fits into where the Ducks want to be at. I always think of the Ducks as a little bigger, a little bit more size. You know, Kessel and all. Not Kessel. What's his name? 15, 10, 17. They're just big. They're just big dudes. I know Mike Hoffman's only 6 feet, but I like his game. He plays a scruffy game. Scruffy beard and a scruffy game. Kessler. Thank you, Sandra. Even Yager's being cut. He said he wanted to play until he's 50. There you go. There's a good acquisition for the Caps. Get Jaromir Jagr. You could afford him. He'll sign for $300K. He'll sign for under the league minimum. I think he'll take it. A Jagr return to the Capitals. Why not? Why not make that happen? We're going to talk about Aberman and Charlie Conway and Banks, Adam Banks, all that and more coming up a little bit here on the Hockey Talk Show. Let's move it on over to the skills competition. Down in Tampa Bay this time around, they've switched some things around on us. It basically turns out to how the players are going to get paid. And I know it's like that's a real greedy thing to be doing. But I actually think it's going to turn out to be a little bit better for the league. I think the guys are going to skate a little bit harder when you hear what some of the format changes are. So let's take a look at them here. As this just got released today, there's going to be an emphasis on individual cash prizes in the All-Star competition. Revamped events, enhancements in technology, and cash prizes are all the changes that the league is introducing this afternoon for the All-Star competition this weekend. Here's what I love about the league. The competition is this weekend. We're like 3 days away from it. And they're like, boy, we should get these rules out there at some point now. I mean, not like we're sitting here dying for it, but I mean, it seems a little last minute for a professional sports league. Here's what they're going to do this time around. Unlike previous years, the skills competition was as much about individuals as it was about a team competition. Remember, you scored points for your team, and then whichever team won a cash prize. This year, the focus will be on individuals, with $25,000 going to the winner of each event. The Enterprise NHL Fastest Skater, the Dunkin' Donuts NHL Passing Challenge, where you actually have to pass a donut instead of a puck. Soft hands. Soft hands. You don't smack it over to your player. You sail it to them. How many Mighty Ducks puns can we work into this episode? We should start to keep track, because I think we're up to 3 already. The Dunkin' Donuts NHL Passing Challenge, the Geico NHL Save Streak, Gatorade NHL Puck Control Relay, and the PPG NHL Hardest Shot, and the Honda NHL Accuracy Shooting. Patrick Burke, the NHL Senior Director of Player Safety, the group in charge of running the skills competition, because when I think of skills, I think of player safety, said, and I quote, "Last year the event was done well. We all just felt like the scoring system was a little bit complex, a little bit convoluted. So let's get back to basics. Test these hockey players on hockey skills. Just put the best on best and not worry about what divisions guys are in. Now 6 or 8 guys in each event. Let's test them to see who is the fastest, who has the hardest shot, best passer, most accurate, goalie saves, puck control, and the winner of each event will get a pretty nice cash prize. Hopefully an incentive to show up. Compete hard and reward the best player in the league." Here's one of the things that I find to be the most interesting about all of this. They're changing the shot competition. So, you know, the little foam boards with the targets on them? Remember, it was targets for years, and then somebody decided, let's slap a sponsor on there. But it was still foam. You'd shoot it, and it'd explode everywhere as part of the fun of it. They're changing that this year. Instead of styrofoam targets, they're going to be replaced with LED lights located inside each net. I don't know what that means. Does that mean that nothing's going to explode? They can't have them actually shooting at lights because the lights will explode. That can't be good. That can't be right. The targets will light up randomly. Oh, here's the other exciting part. So they don't get to choose anymore. The targets will light up randomly, and the shooter standing 25 feet away from the goal line will have 3 seconds to hit the target that is lit. The event is not complete until the shooter successfully hits all 5 targets. The shooter with the fastest time will be the winner. There will be similar LED technology in the passing challenge when players will have to make 4 successful passes into targets that light up randomly as part of the event. Burke said, "We're hoping it's better and more realistic to test what players do in games. It's about getting into a rhythm, finding where the puck needs to go, and being talented enough to both react quickly and put the puck where you want it to go." The third skill in the puck control relay will also feature new technology. After stick handling through 8 pucks in a straight line and zigzagging around 8 cones, the players will approach a series of gates with 3 cutout sections One section will light up and the player will have to get the puck through it before moving into the next gate. I don't know what the hell is going on either. Don't worry. So confused. And there's no pictures to describe any of this. The technology has been great in the testing, and we're excited to see it in action. The best players in the world will be too. The goalies will also be incorporated more than they have been in the past with the Save Streak event, a shootout designed to create competition among goalies. The goalie with the longest consecutive save streak will be the winner. If there is a tie, the goalie with the highest number of saves made during his round will be the winner. That's interesting. Burke said it's not that the goalies are just a prop while the shooters test various things. In this case, the shooters are the props. They can't win. There is no prize for scoring the most goals here, but hopefully it will get the goalies fired up to put on a show and be crowned the best goalie of the weekend. I don't know who the best imitator of a Superman on the ice will be, but I'm interested to see that as well. Sandra, why are goalies so good in 3-on-3 overtime and so bad in the All-Star 3-on-3? It's always like 78 to 900 because they don't care. That's essentially what it is. They just don't care when it comes to the All-Star games. You know, it doesn't really matter to them all that much. Thumbs up on the episode. Don't forget to like this show and share it on Facebook if you can. Twitter as well works great. And don't forget you can follow the Hockey Talk Show on social media. We are at Hockey Talk Show on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. That's at Hockey Talk Show. Let's talk about this ragtag bunch. Mighty Ducks, according to the Hollywood Reporter, has a TV series in the works. Mighty Ducks franchise may be coming to a small screen. Sources tell the Hollywood Reporter that ABC Signature Studios is in early development for a series based on the 90s dramedy about a youth hockey team. A network is not yet attached. ABC Signature Studios, the cable and streaming focused arm of ABC Studios, declined to comment. By the way, and I know this from the radio show that I do, 90s nostalgia, super hot right now, as is all nostalgia once it gets to a point of 20 years old. 90s nostalgia is super, super hot right now. Gilmore Girls, Fuller House, all these streaming services are trying to figure out ways to bring back these young people into watching. And this just makes a whole bunch of sense from that perspective. Sources tell the Hollywood Reporter that ABC Signature head Tracy Underwood is always looking to identify Disney titles and intellectual property that can appeal to a global audience. Put the Mighty Ducks in development after being approached by the original trilogy screenwriter Stephen Brill and original producer Jordan Kerner. Brill will pen the script in-house for ABC Signature. If that comes in well, ABC Signature would package the project with talent and shop it to streamers this year. Brillstein Entertainment's George Heller and Brad Petriglia will, like Brill, be credited as executive producers. Feature film star Emilio... That's a little bit of a stretch these days, isn't it, though? Feature film star Emilio Estevez is not currently attached to the script, has not yet been written, but let's face it, this is the only work he'll be offered. I ad-libbed the last part. What remains unclear is if the potential Mighty Ducks TV series is a sequel or a reboot, as a long line for the half-hour or hour project is being kept under wraps. What would you do? Would you remake this, or do you want to see where these characters are today? Do you want to see Charlie Conway's kid playing youth hockey for District 5? Like, where do you want to go with this? Do you remake, or do you pick up where you left off? Sandra, maybe they'll have a female hockey player who sees more than 40 seconds of ice time. Yes, I remember the figure skater. I'm talking about the goalie. But didn't she get the net from him in the third one? Didn't the girl goalie get the net at the end? She was named the starter, was she not? I thought she was. I was so happy when I saw that. I hated that fat son of a bitch. Seriously, the Goldberg thing ran really thin with me coming towards the third one. Julie the cat certainly deserved all that ice time. New Kids or the kid from Jurassic World. Yeah, I don't like that's. I'm in love with the characters. I'm in love with Banks and Aberman. even though a lot of these guys who you're seeing in this photo didn't make it. The fat kid didn't make it to the second one, right? I don't think the figure skater made it in the second one. She made it. I forget her name. He doesn't make it. These three right here. See this hug. This is a bad hug right here. Neither of these three made it to the second film, right? And then the kid from Sandlot came in the second film. You get Sandlot kid in there still. I think you got to have Sandlot kid in there. The Jet. What was his name in the Sandlot? Something the Jet. Rodriguez. Vinny the Jet. Was it Vinny the Jet? I don't remember. Let's see here. Sources stress that the Mighty Ducks TV show is in its early stages and will not be taken out anytime soon. As for a potential home, insiders note that ABC Signature could take the project out to other broadcast or cable networks, in addition to shopping it to streaming platforms. Another option could be to keep it in-house and set it up on Disney's forthcoming standalone streaming service. You know, Disney's doing that. They're taking all their stuff off of Netflix. Not all of it, but a lot of it. Benny the Jet Rodriguez. Good for you, Sandra. Good for you for knowing that. Let's see. The Mighty Ducks was released in 92, produced on a budget of $10 million. Despite negative reviews from critics, the film went on to become a box office hit, grossing $50 million, which was pretty significant in the 90s. Two sequels, D2, The Mighty Ducks, and 1996's D3, The Mighty Ducks, which was built around the original film star Joshua Jackson's Charlie Conway. They grossed $45.6 million and $22.9 million, respectively, with the success of the first feature inspiring producers Disney to name the Anaheim's 1983 expansion franchise after the team. And we all know the history after that. And then there was a Disney cartoon, if you guys remember that. The Mighty Ducks had a cartoon for a little while. That was on TV for a little bit. Let's see here. I don't think there's anything else really left in this. So that's the question for the comments below. Do you pick up where you left off, or do you remake totally? Either way, I still want to see Benny the Jet not being able to stop. That'd be the best ever. That would be the best ever. Let's see here. We got to talk about the Islanders, right? Where's my Islander? There we go. All right. Islanders are apparently close to getting into a deal where they're going to be moving back to the Coliseum on a temporary basis. I feel like this is inevitable, but people got to get paid, so that's why it's taking so long. According to Newsday here and Jim Bombach, Islanders are closing in on an agreement to play a mix of the team's regular season games at the Barclays Center in the Nassau Coliseum in the years leading up to the opening of the new arena at Belmont Park. I think they should just go all in on the Coliseum. If you split it on both, nobody's going to show up at Barclays and everybody will be at the Coliseum. It is not yet known how the games will be structured. The Islanders have been negotiating with Brooklyn Sports and Entertainment, which operates both arenas, in the week since Governor Andrew Cuomo announced the Islanders' bid to develop the arena at Belmont was selected as the winner. The Islanders and Brooklyn Sports Entertainment have until January 30th to complete the opt-out process. Islanders co-owner Jonathan Ledecky said on WFAN in New York City on the 10th he was confident something would be worked out regarding some of the games being played at the Coliseum. NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman and other league officials toured the renovated arena on January 9th alongside Ledecky and Brett Yormark, who's the CEO of BC&E, and assessed the viability in the short term. Bettman had previously said the Coliseum wasn't a viable option for the Islanders, even on a short-term basis, but he expressed willingness to change that stance after some playful pressure by Cuomo at the Islanders' Belmont Park news conference. The Islanders played their home games at the Coliseum from 72 to 2015 when they moved to the Barclays Center. The earliest the Islanders arena at Belmont is likely to be ready is 21-22. The Coliseum recently underwent a renovation of $165 million in cost that took 18 months. And Billy Joel showed up and everybody forgot how crummy it was. So that was nice. That was a nice little added bonus in there. So I think by all accounts, the Islanders are definitely going to go back to the Coliseum. It just makes the most sense. They really don't have many other options, and I definitely just think they'll be there. I definitely think that they'll go back there. To me, what are the moves that you have to make? Because I'm definitely seeing a lot more people now starting to echo the sentiments that I've been talking about for a while here on the Hockey Talk Show, which is the Islanders got to make a move. And if you look at the standings now, we're starting to see a position where, I'm getting impatient. I mean, teams can't, but I'm getting impatient. When you look around, Toronto's got to grab that defenseman. They have to. They still have that big cushion, but that is now a 7-point cushion. I think it was 11 points. That's eroding. Need that D-man up there in the big TO. Boston's fine. Tampa's fine, even though they got some injuries to contend with. Columbus has got to get some offensive spark. Talk about the Ducks acquiring Hoffman. He'd work in Columbus really well, too. The Devils, I think, are sliding, although they're still in second place right now. 56 points. You want to know what's scary? The Flyers have 2 points less than the Devils do at this point. I mean, the Metro Division standings are just ridiculous. The Rangers, the Penguins, the Islanders all need to figure something out. I don't think the Pens have as much maneuvering to do. I just think they need to get their act together. But the Islanders and the Rangers have to make some acquisitions here. They have to figure it out. The Rangers need some more structure. The Islanders need some more damn confidence and a defenseman and a goaltender. I wouldn't touch the Flyers right now at 8-2-0 in their last 10 games. How could you? Calgary, Dallas, Colorado is in a playoff hunt right now. I think Calgary needs to make some moves. I'd like to see some shoring up on Calgary's part. Maybe some more scoring. Obviously, Yager wasn't the answer there. I can see them doing something and picking up that slack. Let's go to the rumor mill. What do you say? Let's see what everybody's saying around the National Hockey League today. Got some notes here. Let's see. Let's talk about goalie trade targets. Jared Clinton of the Hockey News lists Antti Raanta, Jonathan Bernier, Cam Ward, Robin Lehner, and Peter Mrazek as his top 5 goaltending targets at the NHL deadline. Jared Clinton must be smoking crack. Why would Jonathan Bernier be on this list? He's helping the Colorado Avalanche make a playoff push right now. Let's see. All are pending free agents. Lerner and Mrazek will be restricted, making them trade fodder. Clinton feels teams such as the New York Islanders might benefit from taking a shot at Raanta. Bernier would be a good pickup for clubs that miss out on Raanta. The Pittsburgh Penguins might feel... This is depressing. Is Antti Raanta the biggest goaltending target that we have? And how is this guy saying that Jonathan Bernier is a backseat to Raanta? I don't get it. When some of these guys write about hockey, do you think they actually watch hockey? Because it doesn't feel like it sometimes. Pittsburgh Penguins might benefit from an experienced hand such as Ward backing up Matt Murray. I don't think Cam Ward would do that, but okay. Since we're living in fantasy land, let's go with it. And Lerner would be a good option for clubs seeking a long-term goaltending option. Mrazek's recent improvement could bolster his trade value. I will say that the goaltending issue in Detroit has been interesting. Now, it hasn't been as captivating as the goaltending issue that was in Pittsburgh when Fleury was there. That was more captivating. And the fact that they were winning cups, nobody really paid as much attention to Detroit. But now we can kind of focus back on them. That Howard and Mrazek, the fact that neither of them have ever really been able to steal the net from the other one, and that both of them have always sort of been on the outs as far as trade rumors go. We'll have to wait and see. I did see Mrazek. I watched Mrazek. I think he played against the Devils, or was it the night before? I can't remember, but I watched some of that game, and he was good. He was really, really good. I mean, if it were up to me and I was either of those guys, I'd be playing my rear end off to try and get out of Detroit. You know, because you want to go to a team that is ready to win. Those guys got to play themselves out to make that happen. Vancouver's son Ian McIntyre and Ben Kuzma speculate the Canucks' plans for the February 26th trade deadline could be affected by their plans for Daniel and Henrik Sedin. The Twins are unrestricted free agents this summer, but they've indicated their willingness to return to the Canucks for another season. If they're certain to return, It could make it easier to shop pending UFA winger Thomas Vanek for the best return possible. However, if they're going to retire, perhaps the Canucks management will attempt to re-sign Vanek. Their possible retirement could also determine what they seek in return for Eric Goodbranson. If you're me, burn it down to the ground. If you're the Vancouver Canucks, trade Vanek, trade Goodbranson, get picks, build this thing right. You got Brock Besser there. You got 53 there. You've got some real potential for the future. You got to figure out who's going to be your netminder if you're the Vancouver Canucks, and you have time to try out who you've got there now, and you've got time to really just build. Like I said, Besser, some of their core that they have over there. Burn it down. Let them gel. Let them come together. Be really strong in 2 seasons. Be really, really strong in 2 seasons. That's what I would do if I was the general manager of the Vancouver Canucks. Well, the first thing I would do is demand a contract. I'd be like, how about you sign me so I know what I'm doing? So I know where my family is going to live next year. That'd be nice. That's the first thing I do. The second thing I do is burn that thing to the ground. But I will say this. There is a caveat here in where I believe in being respectful to those who helped build your franchise, and I would wait on Daniel and Henrik Sedin. I would wait to see what they want to do, and I would hope that they'd say we want to go play somewhere else. I'd have my little fingers crossed. Get out from under the Louis Eriksson contract if you can. The guy's on your 4th line, for Pete's sake. Sam Gagner is a career 3rd liner. So if you lost Sedin, you've got, Besser and Horvat. Let go Vanek. Jake Virtanen, I like. Your D is serviceable at best. You got Edler and you got Delzano. Delzano's the 3rd pair and he's playing on the 2nd. You get some time for Markstrom and Nilsson to see who really wants to take that net. I think it'll be Markstrom in the long term, but you got a lot of time. You got a lot of time there if you're Vancouver. Get some picks. Go get some picks and go through the process. Sandra, Detroit really needs a consistent franchise goalie. Both are good. Sometimes they're injured or inconsistent. Yeah, Detroit needs that. Detroit needs some consistency and some goaltending, and they just need somebody to step up. They're going through what Vancouver's going through, which is the identity of your franchise is getting older and phasing itself out, and you've got to find new leaders and new guys to come in and take the bull by the horn. Zetterberg's phasing out. They lost 13 already. Larkin, Nyquist, Anthony Mantha can use a little bit more consistent play. Athanasiou, with that whole thing that they went through, I think they just put David Booth on waivers. Thomas Tatar should be scoring. There was if you think about it, over the course of the Detroit Red Wings history, there was a lot of hype behind Larkin, Tatar, Nyquist, and Mantha. And have any of them really stepped up to the plate? Have they really knocked your socks off? I don't know. So far this season, Larkin 8 goals, 30 assists. 6 goals for Zetterberg, 25 assists. Mantha stepped up a little bit with 15 goals. Mike Green is one of your highest. Mike Green is leading your 4th on your team in points. Not good. Nyquist with 14 goals. Athanasiou's got 10, so he's doing okay. He's got 10 in 36 games. Remember, he held out for a little bit. I never really liked Abdelkader. He's a 4th line player at best. Takes up space. Tartar's got 12 goals. Franz Nielsen is a tremendous 3rd line player. I can't believe they're not getting a little bit more out of him. Tyler Bertuzzi, what do you have there? I mean, they're not all that inspiring. They have not been great over the last 3 years. Again, It's time to let Zetterberg, off into the sunset, and start your rebuild. See what you have and start building up. There's a lot of questions for the Detroit Red Wings that I don't like. A lot of questions. I don't know how well they're doing on cap space too. They must have a good amount. And where's Zetterberg at? No, they have none. They're the worst team. They have 0 cap space. Zetterberg had... Oh, dear Lord. Zetterberg is signed till 2021. Oh, kill me now. Tatar's making 5.3 and he's on your third line. Dear Lord. Abdelkader's making 4.2. They made some dumb moves there. Athanasio, Larkin, and Manta are all restricted coming up this season. Booth, they just released, or they just waived. Green's making 6. DeKaiser's making 5. Cronwall's making 4. Jonathan Erickson's making 4. Yeesh. They're bad defensive contracts. Jimmy Howard and Peter Mrazek. Not to take anything away from Ken Holland, but I think we're going to see how much of a genius general manager he really is. Right? I think he might have gotten a lot of credit for some of the great players that were in Detroit. You go down the list from Lidstrom and Datsuk and all these guys. I don't know. There's some bad contracts there, and he's been the GM for quite a while. So I don't know about this Detroit team. I don't even want to look at them. They make me sad. Let's go back to Vancouver. It looks like there's a lot of bit more potential there with Brock Besser. Montreal, Stu Cowan reports the Canadiens captain Max Pacioretty said he's finding all the trade talk swirling around him frustrating. He insists he doesn't want to be traded, adding that his family loves Montreal. It's a tough situation. Alex Belanger-Champagne reports that longtime Canadian setter Thomas Plekanec is trying to ignore rumors he could be dealt by the trade deadline. While acknowledging that his name is circulating in the rumor mill, he said he doesn't know who wants him. Canadians surely don't. Canadians definitely don't want him. There's a lot of underachievers in the game right now, A lot of underachievers in the game. Sports Hydra just came in. What your thought on John Klingberg for the Norris on the average point a game? I like how they're doing these things on the average point a game thing now. They've got that whole thing going on, which I like. That's how they figured out where they wanted to go for the All-Star break. A lot of those guys. That's why, like, if you're, I know some Islander fans were upset that Anders Lee didn't get in, and Josh Bailey did, and it was a point per game sort of a situation. I'll be honest with you, I haven't really had a chance to get hardcore into the Norris. I do think it's a runaway for Hedman. I mean, of course, I felt that way up until he got hurt. The kid's almost a point per game player. I mean, offensively, it's really hard to deny somebody like that. But the problem is when you with the Norris, I feel like when you look at Hedman, his play is just, I don't know, it's just killer. It's just killer. It doesn't hurt that he's on the best team in the league. If you want to know one thing that I think could hurt Klingberg, if you think none of that matters, that's a lie. It matters. Granted, Dallas is in a playoff spot right now, but still, the best team, to have the best team, like if all things are kind of equal between those two, the guy on the best team in the league is going to win, especially if they go on a really, really long run here. Especially if they go on a really long run, So I don't know. You know what though? Hybrid. We haven't really been paying a lot of attention to the Dallas Stars, and we really should, because Klingberg is a story. He's a really, really great story. Let me see here. 5th round pick, 131 overall. Didn't start until about 4 seasons ago. And he's just really grown into his own. Great on the power play. Great even strength. He's a 14. Let me see if I could bring up Victor Hedman's stats. Put them two together and see where they're at. Unless I have Hedman's numbers in front of me, it's not going to really... All right, let me put these side by side. All right, so Hedman's got 6, so they both got 6 goals. Both got 6 goals. Klingberg's got 40 assists to Hedman's 27. So Klingberg has him by 13 points, which are all assists. Klingberg is a plus 14, which is killer. But Hedman is a plus 24. Plus minus matters for defensemen. Let's see. Pims 32 for Hedman. Klingberg 14. Let's see what their power play stats are. 1 goal, 15 points. So 1 goal, 14 assists for Klingberg on the power play. For Hedman, 1 goal and 11 assists. So Klingberg's a little bit better than him on the power play. Game-winning goals. Klingberg has 2. Hedman has 1. Shorthanded points. Hedman has 2. Klingberg has none. Who shoots more? 114 shots for Klingberg and 125 for Hedman. He's got a 4.8 shooting percentage versus Klingberg's 5.3. They are really close. It's super tight all the way around. And in case you are... Is this for real? Does Hedman have a face-off percentage at 50%? Did he take a face-off this year? Klingberg won 1 face-off in 2016, 2017, if that helps anybody. I still think, and maybe this is because I'm in the East and I'm a little bit swayed by that on who I get to see more on a daily basis. But I don't know. Hedman to me was leading this before he got hurt. And we'll see what happens going into it. Let's put it this way. To answer your question, if Klingberg wins the Norris, my jaw is not going to be wide open. My jaw by far is not going to be wide open. But see, the problem is going to come from, and again, this is why I say the standings make a difference. If Dallas misses the playoffs, which is entirely possible, they have 58 points right now. Kings have 55, so does Minnesota. Anaheim has 53. So it's nowhere near a lock that Dallas rolls into the wild card spot. So if Dallas misses and Tampa makes it, that's going to make a difference. And I know, and I think some of these things are figured out before the postseason, but even still, you kind of know going in what the deal is. So I don't know. A lot of things to consider there. I still like Hedman, but besides all that, but if Klingberg would win, I'd have no problem with that whatsoever. Games tonight. You want to do some picks moving into the games tonight? Devils in Boston. That's a good one to watch. There's a couple of games to watch tonight. But if you can watch Devils in Boston, that'll be a good one. Boston's at home. Give me the Bruins. It'll be a close one. 1 or 2 goal win for the Bruins. Pittsburgh and Carolina. Pittsburgh's at home. Give me... I'd love to know who the goalies are before I decide that one. Let's see. Do we have the goaltending matchups for tonight? I always like to plug the guys that do a great job, and dailyfaceoff.com is a phenomenal spot for goalie matchups. Casey DeSmith versus Cam Ward. Give me the Hurricanes. Schneider against Rask, by the way. Give me Boston. Colorado and Montreal. Bernier goes for Colorado. I think they continue to roll. What are they? The Avs are 9. What was there? 10 wins in a row for the Avs. I think they make it 11 tonight in Montreal. Brian Elliott of the Flyers against Peter Mrazek of Detroit. Give me the Flyers. I think they continue their hot streak. Tampa Bay and the Preds. Saros versus Domingue. Give me the Preds, baby. I think the Preds upset the Tampa Bay Lightning. Craig Anderson and the Senators against Carter Hutton and the St. Louis Blues. Give me St. Louis. Ben Bishop against James Reimer for Florida. Give me Dallas at home. Leonard is the unconfirmed starter tonight against Cam Talbot and the Oilers. Give me the Oil. And Bobrovsky versus Fleury. Vegas, Columbus. Give me Vegas at home. Even though I think Tortorella will have his guys fired up. That could be a close one. I say give me Vegas in an overtime win. Quick and Markstrom. Give me Jonathan Quick as the likely starter for this evening. Rangers and Anaheim tonight. Give me Lundqvist against Anaheim. I'll take the Rangers there. Jets and Sharks. Give me Connor Hellebuck. I think he continues to roll. And that's all the games for tonight. Thank you guys for all the comments. Just a little warning here. I do have a big radio project coming up. There may or may not be a show tomorrow night or Thursday. We're going to wait and see. And then maybe we'll see what we can do during the All-Star game. If we do a show before the All-Star competition on Friday. If we do a show during the All-Star competition. If maybe we do just a tweet along. And again, you can follow the Hockey Talk Show on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram at Hockey Talk Show. We'll kind of wait and see. We'll have updates on all our social media on what we're doing over the next couple of days. Going to try and get a show in tomorrow. Maybe we do a quick one. But I have this very big radio project that I have to take care of. And there's just not a lot of time in my schedule. So I hate to not do 5 Live. Aw, Liz, don't make me cry at the end of the show. I usually cry once the show's over. But anyway, we got to wait and see. So I'll keep you posted on that. So fingers crossed that we can get together a little bit tomorrow and talk some hockey. Until then, have a great night. Enjoy all this hockey action, and I'll see you guys.